Good evening. Today is November 8th, 2018, and welcome to the Reuben Hoare Library Board of Trustee meeting. We are waiting for one more member, but we are going to go ahead and start our meeting. We'll start with public participation. No public participation. Correspondence.
No correspondence.
Approval of minutes.
Okay, we can't vote on that, right?
No.
But we
We
just,
can at least look them over. There's a typo on the October 4th minutes on page 3. Under annual fund drive letter, it says Mr. Rombacher is being printed as we speak. Probably should be something like Mr. Rombacher says it's being printed, or something along the lines of that.
Mr. Rombacher says, okay.
Yeah.
Says the letter is being
Yes.
printed as
Yeah.
we speak.
Yes, says the letter.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
I like that, that was good.
You're on your toes. I can see. Right.
All right, I make a motion that we accept the minutes for the October 4th meeting as corrected.
Can't do it
Yeah.
Well, then, we'll just hold on that.
Let's see. We're waiting for Kristen. She has. It's okay. Don't we all have them?
We were just looking over the minutes and getting prepared to make a motion to approve them.
So
Two sets of minutes?
there was a motion made. Should we repeat it?
So, Chris, I had made a motion that we approve the October 4th minutes as corrected. There were a few words missing on page 3. It now reads, Mr. Rombacher says the letter is being printed as we speak, rather than Mark himself being printed.
Okay, great.
So I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, how about the October 25th minutes?
The only question that I have is, it was my understanding in looking at page 3 of 3, at the top there, that the scholarship vote was a 3-1 vote, not a 4-0 vote. Of course, I was not here, but I just wanted to have an understanding as to whether that was accurate.
That is correct. It was a 3-1 vote.
So Ms. Aslin seconded. The vote was 3-1, not unanimous.
Right.
Do you see where I am, Henry? So 3-1, and cross out
Page
unanimous.
3 of 3, okay. Thank you.
I'm also wondering if there should be something added noting that we returned from executive session to close the meeting at 7 PM.
So to say executive session closed at 7 PM, the meeting was adjourned at 7 PM?
Yes.
So, meeting adjourned at 7 o'clock. or something to that effect.
Okay,
Meeting
yeah.
adjourned at 7 o'clock.
I understand, yeah, right. I got you.
All right. All right, I make a motion that we accept the minutes from October 25th as amended.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. The October 25th minutes have been accepted, and now we just have the November 5th minutes to approve. This was a meeting with the Board of Selectmen to appoint a new member to the Board of Trustees.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as written for the Monday, October 5th, sorry, amended.
November 5th, right?
Yeah, so, not this one, that
This one.
one. Yeah, it
Yeah.
should say Monday, not Thursday.
I see, okay.
Did you make a motion, Jenna?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as corrected for November 5th.
Second that?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, the November 5th minutes have been approved. We're going to move on to treasurer's report.
I'm sorry, that's me.
Yes.
Okay, we did get a copy of the Bartholomew, which you all have, which came, it just came out the other day. We just got it, and thank you for Sam printing it. And we received word today that due to training sessions and whatnot, that the other balances are not available at this time.
Okay.
And that's the end of the treasurer's report.
Friends report.
Okay, so the Friends met on October 17th. They moved $992 into the building fund from the Friends. Let's see,
992.
they're planning an appreciation lunch for the staff. The book sale, the next book sale will be on May 16th, 17th, and 18th. We'll set up on Mother's Day. The October book sale for next year will be October 17th, 18th, and 19th. They adjourned to their annual meeting where they chose the new officer slate, and Kathy Christophic was named as the new president, and Sarah Rombacher was new vice president. They're planning a stuffed animal sleepover on November 16th, and they're going to raffle an American Girl doll and a drone. And they're planning to do the Santa letters again next for Christmas, and they'll be at the Holiday Bazaar.
Great. What date is the holiday bazaar?
December, the first week of December.
Is
First
it
week
the
of,
first or the
It might be
8th?
the first.
You know?
I think it's the first.
Okay,
Pretty sure it's the first.
okay.
Did they have a amount that they made from the fall book sale available that they talked about at the meeting?
let's see. Not that I can recall right now.
Okay. Are there any other items from the meeting that you'd like to add? Right. Fundraising committee report. And I wonder if we should just loop that in with the public awareness.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
committee.
technically me, but I feel like we had some weird attendance at the last meet.
Yes.
I don't think I went to the
Be-
last one.
Because we only have 5 trustees at that time. If you and myself and David had attended that meeting, we would have had a quorum.
Right.
So I asked if one of you would respectfully bow out, but it turned out that both of you couldn't make it, so only Sam and, no, that's okay, only Sam and I attended. And that was focused primarily on the Orange Door Kitchen event, which I'm wondering, should we speak about that now, or should we wait until trustee updates, because we were all
We were all
there?
there.
Yeah.
Sure, we can wait.
Either one.
Okay. The only thing that I will say then is I have some amounts, updates on our fundraising. And I'm gonna give a copy to Henry because there are a lot of numbers I'm gonna read out.
Good,
So
thank
it's
you.
easier if he just looks at that. So, the hashtag Building Community 01460 Pledge Drive. We've had 52 participants so far, and they've pledged $63,210.
That's great.
24,750 of those dollars are from 9 pledges that we received at the Orange Door Kitchen fundraiser. The trustees' annual fund drive letter, so far we've gotten 43 donors for a total of $5,345 donated. Since January 2017, we have received 230 donations totaling under $123,000. We have 56 pledges totaling $166,000. So some of those pledges and some of those pledges have already been fulfilled, and with our donations, we currently have received over $225,000. Also, I will say that the mini golf raised $15,000. And there are several donations that are pending that may total up to $50,000. And 6 rooms have agreements.
For naming?
Yes, for naming. So the actual balance of the building fund is actually larger because this only goes back to 2017, and Sam would have that number, but I did not ask him for that number yet. And we are still carrying on with our pledge drive. If you are interested in making a pledge, you can go to littletonlibraryproject.org to pledge or make a donation. I would also like to point out that the next mini golf for 2019 is going to be held on March 22nd and March 23rd. And I will reiterate, as Sam has already mentioned, the friends will be raffling off an American Girl doll. The doll's name is Tenny, and a quadcopter drone. And they're going to start raffling this off at the Reading Past My Bedtime event on November 16th, which, by the way, is next Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. The drawing for these raffles are going to be on December 15th. So visit the library or come to the Holiday Bazaar to buy your tickets for this raffle, and the raffle is $1 per ticket. So,
Excellent.
yeah, so that's pretty much it regarding the fundraising and the public awareness committee.
Great.
All right, so we're move on to trustee updates. I attended the Orange Door Kitchen event, but I have just spoken for a very long time, so I want to give other people an opportunity to talk about the event. So if anybody would like to discuss.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Jennifer for doing the introductions and
Yes, definitely.
making that whole thing go nice and
Great job.
Yeah,
smooth.
she did a fantastic job.
You're very
That was
welcome.
very good,
You're very welcome.
yes, so, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I enjoyed it, that's my first wine tasting, so I had a good time,
Yeah.
and look forward to maybe doing that again sometime,
Yeah.
Mm.
perhaps.
It was a fabulous event. I guess I hadn't seen the space prior to the event, so I wasn't sure what to expect, and it was just a beautiful space. If people haven't been to the Orange Door Kitchen, they are having some, I actually just found out this morning, they're having some other events coming up in concert with the Silver Unicorn Bookstore, which looks like some really cool stuff coming up. So if you have a chance to get over there, it would be great. It's a great space. Got to see a lot of neighbors and a lot of people I haven't seen in a while, lots of Littleton friends, and Sam was there, and all of us, I think, were there.
Yep.
And some friends of the library and some supporters of the library. It really was a really lovely evening. Had a good time.
And I want to thank Amy Tarlow Lewis and Sarah Rombacher. They organized and put this event together, and they did a fantastic job with pulling everything together and organizing the speakers and having the leaflets and the pledges available for those who attended. And really, it was, Orange Door Kitchen is a great venue.
And we should have some of those centerpieces that Judy made here all the time, because those little centerpieces were so cute, made out of books.
So other than that, does anybody have any updates?
Well, I have one other thing I want to mention. As a matter of fact, was at our wine tasting, our fundraiser, that somebody had spoken to me about the fact that Veterans Day is coming up, which is usually on the 11th. I don't have the calendar in front of me, but I was informed that this Sunday in the Common, there will be a gathering to commemorate the end of World War I, which was on November 11th, the 11th hour of the 11th day, the 11th minute, okay? And so they want, have anybody who was available to stop by and help them commemorate. There'd be some veterans there, and sounds like it'd be a good thing to do. So that's this Sunday, 11/11/11.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any additional updates? Okay. All right. We'll move on to director's report.
Okay. So on Saturday, November 3rd, Julie Bernardi, one of our staff members, she lacerated her finger when one of the windows in this conference room slammed shut on it. Julie's okay. She just kind of scraped her fingers, but she did have to go to urgent care at the point. HR has been given all the proper paperwork so that her medical expenses will be paid for. I spoke with George, our maintenance person. He says there's really nothing he can do because the windows are old and they were cheaply made. So he suggests that we just warn staff and patrons not to open the windows or to be careful when opening the windows. We've also had an issue with the heating system. Some areas of the library are very hot, some areas are very cold. The conference room is actually the hottest room in the building, so that's why people keep the window open. So now that we can't really open the window, that's become an issue for some patrons who want to book the room. So they get upset that they are too hot in there. So unfortunately, there's not really much we can do, but we're trying to work on solutions for that. Let's see. I also spoke with Irina Toole from Eduporium. She's going to help us create a makerspace program at the library. Makerspaces are things like 3D printers, robots, drones, other gadgets that we can teach kids how to use and program. That's cool. So I'm going to be working with her to do that. Yesterday, Catherine Sebastian informed me that she'll be resigning. Her husband got a job and out of the country, so she's moving.
To where?
The Marshall Islands.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So
2,000 miles from anywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the November 30th will be her last day. I've already submitted the paperwork to HR to start finding a new person so that we can hopefully make the transition easier.
Is that a part-time or how many hours is she?
Oh, she's
What's-
20 hours.
20 hours,
So it's a
okay.
benefited position, 20 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. The library will be closed this month on November 12th for Veterans Day, that's this Monday, and we'll be closed at 4 p.m. on November 21st, and on November 22nd for Thanksgiving, we're closed. There'll be a New England Quilts and Stories They Tell program on November 14th at 7 in the Cooper Room. On the 16th, from 6 to 8, the Friends are holding a stuffed animal sleepover at the library. The stuffed animals can then be picked up the next day on Saturday between 12 and 2. And Littleton resident and world-class Ironman triathlete Eric Manzer will be at the library on November 28th at 7 to speak about his life and everything he's done. As far as the budget goes, we're doing pretty well. We're pretty much where we're usually at this time of the year. And salaries are doing pretty well too. And the rest is the stats.
How do you get a .75 backdoor count? 6,786.75.
Because we, we take the number and we divide it so that it's not divided by like 2 or 4 or something like that.
That would still be half before the division. It's very suspicious.
Since Catherine is leaving, is there going to be another member of the staff that will be able to be notaries to help out with those?
So far, no one has volunteered.
Okay.
I could ask. We're having a staff meeting next week, so I can.
When is the staff appreciation luncheon scheduled for?
It hasn't been scheduled.
Oh, okay.
Does anybody have anything else to comment on the director's report?
Nay.
Anything you need to add, Sue? Okay. Moving on to old business. Joint meeting with Board of Selectmen to fill trustee vacancy update. So on Monday, November 5th, we met with the Board of Selectmen to appoint a new trustee to our board who happens to not be here today because she is traveling. We have appointed Susan Harvey. She is a longtime resident of Littleton. She has resided here for 24 years, and she is a history teacher at Littleton High School. And we are delighted to have her join our board.
Yes.
Unfortunately, she is traveling. Mark is traveling for business, so they are both absent today. And is Helen running a program today?
Yeah, we had a movie tonight. RBG.
Can I ask a question on this?
Mhm.
Yeah. So we voted, and very happy indeed to have Susan fill the vacancy. Is that for the remainder of the term? Seems like it
It's still
should
at the
be.
next election,
Until the next election?
yes.
Okay.
Which is next year. Yeah, next year.
Not the remainder of the term.
His next election.
Okay.
So, in May, the ballot will have 3 places to vote.
Mhm.
2 3-year terms and 1 1-year term.
Mhm.
And, and anyone can run for any of those.
Yep.
Yep.
Now, I wanted to also point out that Susan is unavailable to make our next meeting as well. So can we change next month's meeting to a different date so we can all be present?
So,
It's fine with me, I don't
Okay.
care.
You would push it out to the next Thursday, is that what we're
To the
thinking?
13th from the 6th?
Right now, the 13th looks okay to me.
It's fine with me.
Okay.
You might all have to sing happy birthday, it's just before my birthday. so cake
you know, while
or
we're talking-
cupcakes or something.
Your birthday's the 13th?
It's the 16th.
Oh. While we're on the topic of the board, Katie had been assigned the vice chair position, and currently we don't have anyone sitting in the vice chair position. I don't know if it makes sense for us to appoint a vice chair so that, say on the 13th, you've just won the lottery and you're in Paris, or, you're not well, or, we would need someone to run the meeting in
Right.
your absence, because Katie's not here, and I don't think that I am of the opinion it's not appropriate just to put Susan into that position right out of the gate.
Right.
No, so, but perhaps we should wait till everybody's here to discuss that?
Yeah.
I mean,
That also has to be an agenda item, I think.
Right.
Right, okay.
But-
All right, well, can we put that on the agenda for December then?
Yes, but we do have an issue with that, because when we did some of the policy corrections, we took out the vice chair from the list
Yes, that's
of,
correct. Of essential
right.
officers.
So if we decide to have a vice chair, wouldn't that mean we would have to put it back in the policies?
I think when we talked about it, we said that it was fine to not have it as a titled position, if I recall correctly. Does that sound familiar? The structure of the law says that the secretary, or the secretary or the secretary's designee, which is in this case Henry, so we need a president, a secretary, and a treasurer. The other things that we've named over the course of the years apparently are not legally required, so policy-wise, we decided to pull that out. I just think it makes sense that there is a vice chair, in the rare case of an absence,
Oh, I agree,
yeah.
definitely. So we should put that on the agenda and plan on discussing it. Okay.
So have we chosen to change our meeting to December 13th? Did
We probably
Yeah.
have to vote on it, right?
Yeah.
Should we check with Susan and Mark to see if that works for
oh,
them?
no,
before we
Susan,
really know any
it
changes?
works for Susan.
It doesn't work, it does?
We said that the
Yeah.
other night, I think Mark was
Yeah.
there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Mark was there for that.
He was, yeah.
So she's coming home for the 13th, I believe.
Yeah, I think she did say that, she was gonna be around for that, yeah.
So as long as the room is available and LCTV can televise it, then would someone like to make a motion to move our meeting to December 13th from December 6th?
I will make a motion to reschedule our next meeting from December 6th to December 13th at 7 PM, assuming the space and the video camera person can be scheduled appropriately.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Early closing, December 24th and December 31st.
So at the last trustee meeting, we discussed whether or not to close on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve or close early. And I mentioned that we were going to have a department head meeting, which we did yesterday. And so Anthony brought it up as an agenda item. He says that he's going to ask the selectmen to close at 12.
Okay.
So it's up to you guys, what you guys want to do.
Now, And that's on the 24th and the 31st, they're gonna close at 12? Well, you open at 10 on Mondays.
Right, so I had asked for
2
1,
hours.
yeah, 12 or 1 would be a good early closing time for me. It's up to you guys.
Okay, I make a motion that we close on Monday, the 24th of December, and Monday, the 31st of December, at 1 o'clock,
I say-
rather than at 4.
Second.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. FY20 capital budget.
Okay, so the budget was due on October 31st, so I submitted the capital budget for $13,173,554. That was the estimated cost that we came up with when we created the grant. So I submitted that with the understanding that we do have a grant and we do have donations. So I spoke with 2 members of FinCom yesterday, Steve Moore and Tom Perrell. They always come to talk to me about the budget, and I explained to them that, you know, we were thinking about applying for the, putting it on the warrant next year. They said that's fine, that they understand. I told them that it's $13 million, but that we're gonna have the grant, and it's gonna be paid out over 5 years, 20% per year. And they thought that was perfectly reasonable. So we don't have to put it on the warrant. We have until next year to decide, but they just wanted us to put something down so that we have something to talk about. And if we do decide to go, then it's better now that we put it than later.
Right.
Okay. Great.
All right. New business, new library information session dates / discussion. So with town meeting that occurred at the end of October and with the sewer issue that was voted upon, I had received something in the mail about the sewer information session, which I thought was an excellent idea to invite members of the town to come and learn about the project before they go when they vote on the 29th of October. We had done something a few years ago before we went to town asking them to pass the grant application, and I thought, we don't have to go into deep planning tonight, that we could at least talk about whether or not we would like to have a few sessions, or 1 or more, and what months would be good to have those sessions, so we can start planning. Because there's a lot that's gonna go into that, presentations, inviting speakers, looking for a area large enough to hold the session, to have it televised by LCTV. So the sooner that we have an idea of when we would like to do these sessions, the more time we will have to plan for them. So I wanted to hear what your thoughts were on that and whether or not you had good ideas about where in the time frame, January and after, would be a good time to do these sessions.
What if we have bad ideas? I'm just kidding. I mean, I think it's a good idea, and I feel like we should probably pull in the Public Awareness Committee. Some
Right,
of us
definitely.
are a part of that group, but to me, that's a perfect type of thing. I think to start up in the early spring, start to get the word out a little bit about what the reality is, maybe quell some rumors if there's rumors out there, and to start working on that public awareness component.
Right. So would you say a good first session might occur in February or March?
I would think March.
Okay.
We're out and hopefully no snow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be easier to plan dates without worrying about that.
Okay. And it slipped my mind, but we were going to have Patrick come
Yeah.
out again, and were we looking at February for that? Okay.
That was to speak to the staff, if you want him to speak to the population at large.
I didn't even think of that, though I thought that if we ask them some questions and advice regarding what we might want to bring to our info session, I mean, that's a good tie-in to do that in February, and then, you know, we would present in March, so, okay.
Are you thinking just one time? Are you thinking more like a series? Several? Three, four?
I think we should do a series because not everybody is available to attend.
About 2 a month until town meeting.
2 in March, 2 in April.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of
Good,
sense.
yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
Excellent.
And we can switch up having them, you know, have one in March be midday, have one in March be in the evening, have one in April be on a
Oh, perfect.
Saturday, have
very
one,
good
you know,
idea.
mix them up a little
Yeah.
for people
Yeah.
whose
Yeah.
schedules would be.
Right.
Maybe
Per-
gear one towards like senior group, like
Yep.
a senior
Right.
group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
A venue? It'd be the 103 or maybe the police station. You need to have it
Mhm.
big enough.
Right, probably LPD. The space over at the fire station is also quite
Oh,
nice.
that's a nice
Yeah.
space.
Yeah. They have all the tech stuff in order to show a PowerPoint presentation, and it's comfortable space. So that's also a possibility.
Great. Excellent. Okay, so we'll bring this to the Public Awareness Committee meeting, and I believe we are meeting next week,
I think so.
yeah.
'Cause it's probably Tuesday.
November
but-
15th
I was gonna say
at 7
Friday.
PM.
That's on Thursday.
I was gonna say it's
Okay.
Tuesday because I have every other meeting in my life on Tuesday.
Right. Yeah, it was in November. Yeah, November 15th on a
This Thursday.
Thursday at 7 PM. So we will bring this up to them and see what type of ideas they have. Okay. Great, thank you. Old furniture disposal.
Okay, so we have some old shelving units and study carrels that I've taken apart. I'm planning to get new furniture for the teen area and the DVD area, so that furniture will have to go. So, town policy is that I have to offer it to the other town departments and the school first, because it was purchased with taxpayer money. And if nobody wants it, then it's up to us what we want to do to dispose of it. So originally I thought just a dumpster because I couldn't think of who would want it. But if I can offer it to a place that takes donations, and that's probably easier actually because they'll come with their own truck and
Right.
take it away.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think I need your approval to get rid of the furniture. But other than that, I can set everything up as far as offering it to the town and then finding a place to donate it.
Well, then, I make a motion that Sam go through the proper channels to dispose of the old furniture, first to the other town departments and the school committee, and thereafter to, within his discretion, find a proper agency to come get it.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Donation policy. So, after the Orange Door Kitchen event, it being our kickstart to campaigning for the new building, since we have been revisiting these policies and updating them, I thought it would be a good idea to take a look at the donation policy, because we will be receiving a lot of donations in the oncoming months. So, we looked over the policy and made corrections on the typos, but are there anything with the language that you found need changing?
When I read through it, looking for typos, I didn't find anything that raised any kind of a question with me. It all looks pretty good.
And just so we're clear, so under number 4, 4.2 says that the donor's request gifts to the building fund in excess of $5,000 can be given conditionally. What that means is someone could write a check for $5,000, say, here you go, it's for the building fund, but in the event that it does not pass, I would like that money back. That is different than a pledge. A pledge being, when it goes forward, this is how much I intend to give over the course of either one payment or over the course of years. So all of the people who have gone ahead and made commitments via a pledge, whether they're in excess or not in excess of $5,000, those pledges don't become activated unless and until the vote of the townspeople confirms our commitment to building a new library. So that was, I just want to make that distinction. A pledge and a gift are two different things. A gift is actually a present thing as opposed to a promise to do something in the future. And with that said, I have no issues with the way the new language reads.
Do we have to have a motion to approve it? It's already, or have we already approved it?
Yes, we should. We have it written that the policy is updated, but we need to have it approved.
Because we had some typos that we fixed.
Yes.
I move to approve the library donation and fundraising policy as updated on November 8th, 2018.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Naming rights agreement. There was an anonymous, there was a gift given by someone who wishes to remain anonymous for a total of $25,000 and signed the gift agreement. And they wanted to, they looked it over with their lawyer and wished to change some of the wording. So now we just have to look over the gift agreement and approve to accept this gift agreement with the altered or additional wording.
And I am assuming that this wording this is just specific to this one
Yes,
person's
this particular
contract.
gift agreement,
Right.
and is not, you will not see this wording on other
Mhm.
gift agreements.
Right, so this is a donor-specific agreement that the donor would like us to say looks fine to us. And I don't see anything which thwarts the intent of the donor or our appreciation for such a large gift. And I have no issues with the added language provided by the donor's attorney. And as such, I make a motion that we accept this particular specified personalized gift agreement so that the donor feels comfortable moving forward with such a generous pledge.
I would second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so the naming rights agreement has been passed, and that brings us to the end of our meeting. However, I'm not going to adjourn. I just wanted to make certain that nobody had anything additional that they wanted to add, and then I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
A motion to adjourn.
I'm sorry. I also wanted to point out that our next meeting is tentatively scheduled for December 13th, 2018, at 7 PM. Oh, I'm sorry, would someone like to make a motion
Motion
to
to adjourn our meeting this evening.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?